the most eagerly awaited arcade game of the year, the brand new Star Wars. And you hear other familiar characters from the film. Each time you're hit, you lose one of the shields protecting you. And like the Force, this Star Wars game will be with you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of Player One Start. Today I'm going to show you a kind of a different project from what I usually do on this show. I'm going to show you how to turn an old laptop into an arcade machine. So this is a project I've been working on for quite a while. In fact, I'm working on a project right now where my goal is to actually make an authentic arcade machine that can take tokens or quarters and works with joysticks and runs everything the way it was supposed to be. My final project will probably use a different piece of hardware, but for this episode, I decided to go ahead and show you one that I've made because I feel like it's an easy process. So here are some materials you'll need for this project. First, you'll need a laptop, preferably an old laptop that you don't care about anymore. The minimum specs for this are actually pretty low, so you can probably use something that was released after the year 2000, something with a Pentium 4, I think a single core processor would do, with at least 1 gigabyte of RAM, possibly 2, depending on which operating system you use. In my example, I'm going to be using a Sony Vaio laptop, because first off, they don't make them anymore, and second off, these things aren't really useful for anything anymore. These laptops run Windows 7, they have 1.5 gigabytes of RAM in them, and they're running on a Centrino Duo processor, which I believe came out around 2006-2007. These laptops said they were made to run Windows Vista. Somebody has since upgraded them to Windows 7. In my opinion, a smart idea. Alright, now that I got my laptops, the only other thing you need in terms of hardware are the arcade controllers. And I just did a simple Google search for USB arcade controllers. And I found a whole bunch of different things. There are a whole bunch of kits that you can build yourself, but I actually found a pre-made kit that at the time was very cheap, but now has actually gone up in price. So I'm still going to include the link to that in this description, but just keep in mind that they were a lot cheaper when I bought them, and now they've kind of gone up to the price where it's almost the same price to build your own. So it's your preference which way you want to go with it. Alright, now that we've got all the materials together, let's go ahead and get the software. So let's go ahead and turn this on. While that's booting up, I'll kind of show you the controller I have here. So this is a pre-made controller. I didn't assemble this myself, but it's just a standard USB that plugs into the laptop. And here I've made some stickers here to remind me where attack and jump is. And then this one is where you insert a coin, start the game, and then this is automatically configured. So MAME already does a lot of the work on programming the buttons, but I've actually changed this a little bit here. I also made a note, this is the player 1 controller because it's got one dot over here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you the program that I used. The program that people use for emulating arcade games is called MAME. MAME stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator. Now this program is very powerful and does a lot to emulate arcade games. However, I don't find the user interface for it very user-friendly because it is command line based. That's not really a problem anymore though, because someone came up with a graphical user interface for MAME, and it's called MAME UI. Now since I'm using a 32-bit laptop, I need a 32-bit version. This version is no longer supported, but it still works for the vast majority of arcade games out there. Alright, once you've downloaded the version of MAME UI that you need, the only thing you need to do to install it is extract the zip folder. And I'm going to do this directly to the C drive and just create a folder called MAME UI. And that's it. That's all you need to do to install this program. I'm going to go ahead and create a shortcut and put it on my desktop so I don't have to keep going to this folder every time I want to launch the application. Once you launch MAME UI, it's going to show you a list of every single game that is out there for arcades. Some of them work with MAME and some of them don't. You can choose to show only the games that work with MAME by clicking the Working button. Now be aware though, this emulator does not come with any games. So with that in mind, I actually went to a site where there are some ROMs that are in the public domain, and this will help me test out to make sure the emulator works correctly. So this is a ROM called Starfire, and you'll notice that it says, I understand that this is supposed to be used for non-commercial purposes, and that is exactly what I'm using it for. To install this ROM, I have to download it, and then I have to extract the files similar to how I installed the game. and then I have to move that folder into the ROMs folder of MAME UI. Once I've done that, I should be able to launch the game. The first time you launch the game, you'll actually have to set up some of the settings to be able to use the game. The first will be the controller. Now, if this game reminds you of Star Wars Arcade, it should. It was actually made to compete against the one that actually won out to be the actual Star Wars Arcade game. Alright, so to set up the controller, you actually have to press the Tab key on the keyboard, and that'll bring up this menu. Now on the menu, I'm going to go ahead and go to Input, This Game, and I'm going to go ahead and set up my buttons the way I have them labeled on the controller. So my Start button is this one. Corner 1 is this one. One button, attack. And now this is going to be interesting, I think. I think that's all going to be fine. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's Starfire. Whenever you want to get out of a game, just press Escape. And I have another game that was downloaded off of that site. Yeah, this is very sensitive. Ah, I can use my shields. Ah. Alright, well I'm really pleased with the outcome of this project. I was successfully able to get an old Windows laptop turned into an arcade machine, and in fact, I was able to showcase this at a couple of game nights a little while back. So people really enjoy playing their old classic arcade games as they originally were, using modern hardware. Of course, the most ideal way to play the old arcade games is to actually own those old arcade machines. And I've looked into this, and this way is definitely cheaper. I would love to own like a multiple arcade machine, but I'm hoping to build my own. I actually have an old arcade machine that doesn't work anymore. I'm assuming a fuse got blown in it, or maybe one of the boards went bad. I'm actually going to gut it because it's not really an important machine. Somebody had already customized it from an old Defender machine anyway, and they put like their own version of trivia on it. So in a future project, I actually hope to build an arcade cabinet around something like either this machine or around a Raspberry Pi, and that will be a project for a future episode. Alright, well again, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Remember, if you like what you see, please hit that like and subscribe button, share with a friend. Remember, you can always reach me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned because I have more content coming. I'll see you guys next time. Hi everyone, Tyler from Player One Start here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and a comment below. Let me know what you liked about the video, let me know what you'd like to see in the future. If you'd like to see more of what I've already done, there should be a couple of hand-picked suggestions showing up right here and here. And if you'd like to be notified when I post new content, go ahead and click this big old subscribe button. I may or may not giggle like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Is that enough? Am I done? Video's still going? Okay, now we're done.